If you're only interested in the test, you can jump to the time stamped below. The TLDR is that Zoom has built a device which is essentially no different than any other audio recorder with a limiter or automatic gain control. Like other such devices, the audio output is noisier and probably suffers from greater levels of harmonic distortion, uneven signal response, and unwelcome spectral coloration. I haven't tested all those issues, but I feel I have proved on the issue of noise that the Zoom has a noisier output compared to the TASCAM or any other quality audio recorder with gain control. This knob right here. The Zoom F3 will also fail at recording finer sonic details that can be captured with a properly gained audio recorder. Because YouTube will also process the audio in this video, you might want to listen to the test files on headphones. There's a link to download them in the description below. I'd like to point out that if anyone follows my channel, they know that I ripped this TASCAM a new one over its software interface about a year or two ago. I'm happy I can show that if one ignores the interface, it's pretty amazing. I will not argue that someone should not buy the Zoom F3. Like all equipment, someone will have needs which it meets. For example, podcasters and solo filmmakers might benefit from a device they can't screw up. In a sense, the Zoom F3 is idiot-proof. But again, the cost is lower audio quality. You might even be shocked when I tell you I plan to keep it. I have a Comica I've used to preamp a dynamic mic into my cameras when I don't want to carry much in my bag, but it's a very noisy output. I have used the TASCAM for this, and although it works great, you can see it's much bulkier than the Zoom F3. Again, it's a very limited recorder, but if you want to capture any XLR mic in auto mode, it does it well and it's small. However, I will argue, as I have for 2 years, that anyone wanting to capture audio with the highest fidelity will always need to control preamp gain. Any device that has a subpar preamp and/or no gain control will produce a dirtier signal than devices with full control of the audio. Further, I feel the marketing departments at these companies should be sued or something. Sorry, I feel the claims made by Rode, Zoom, and others are simply fraudulent. And I feel many YouTubers who claim to provide expert advice and testing of the equipment pander too much to their audience. But it isn't the manufacturers who tell them what to say that stops them from doing the tests I did today. It's their fear of challenging their audience's expectations. Well, as you know, I have the other extreme of that problem. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this video focused on the technology. Okay, I'm going to show you my test setup where I'm going to test the Zoom F3 against just a standard 24-bit recorder, even though that recorder is 32-bit float too. It's the TASCAM PortaCapture X6, but it doesn't really have true 32-bit float. I went into this before, but it does allow you to set gain. The Zoom F3 does not allow you to set gain. So I'm going to go into a lot of this later, but I'm going to do tests to show the differences. So this is my setup. So I have a couple of pencil condenser microphones, jerry-rigged, and here's the speaker, so I can get the same audio into both. And then one will feed into the TASCAM PortaCapture in 24-bit, where I'm setting the gain, and the other one will go into Zoom that doesn't have any gain settings. It's just, it gets everything, and then it creates the audio. Here's my list of tests in the computer, whatever. But the first test I'm going to do, I have 3 tests that I'm planning on doing. I have one that tests total harmonic distortion, one that tests crossover artifacts, and one that tests spectral coloration. However, I'm feeling that there's a simple test I can do that will show it clearly for everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk very low, in a very low way, and record on the TASCAM where I set the gain all the way up, because let's just say that I'm yeah, there's somebody speaking far away in the room and I want to get that audio as good as possible. Yeah, it'd be better if I could get close, but for whatever reason, whatever, let's just say I'm at a prison or whatever, right? I just want to get that audio. So I'm going to compare how does that audio sound, or, what's the fidelity if I have the gain all the way up in the TASCAM and if I have the Zoom F3 just the way it is. Now, my hypothesis is it will be better with the gain set all the way up because you're optimizing the preamp to pull in these faint voltages. And the Zoom F3, because it's trying to do everything, because it's trying to just amplify the total microphone voltages across the line, it will lose linearity essentially at the high end, so it will struggle, that the quality won't be as good, the noise will be worse. And then I'll do the same thing where I'll speak in a normal voice, very close to the microphone, turn the gain down all the way on the TASCAM, right, to avoid clipping, and then compare that to the Zoom, right, which is pulling it all. I expect to see the same issues of noise, coming in that I don't really want, or the signal to strength won't be as good on the Zoom as it is on the TASCAM. And then if this test turns out as I hope, well, I shouldn't say hope, that because I want to be unbiased, right? Maybe this Zoom is an incredible device. If that test does not come out showing any difference, and obviously I'm going to move on to the total harmonic distortion, the crossover, the spectral analysis, that kind of stuff. I might do it anyway, but those tests are a lot more complicated, difficult to prove to somebody because it's a lot of statistical analysis of the data. Whereas I'm hoping with the faint voice, loud voice, comparing optimized gain versus no gain, that you'll be able to hear and see the difference enough to understand the basics of what's going on. And then I can just explain the other ones instead of doing it. But I might do it anyway. These tests are very difficult and complicated to do. So anyway, on to the tests. All right, well, the first thing I'm going to need to do is take the TASCAM and configure to make sure I don't have any limiters on, I don't have any low cuts, high cuts. It's just pure, preamp gained into the ADC recording in 24-bit. Actually, it doesn't make a difference whether it's 24-bit or 32-bit. I've already tested on this. The files are identical. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but okay, so I have the mic. It's going to require, it's set on mic. It's going to require phantom power. It's condenser. Auto gain is off. Low cut is off. Noise gate is off. Limiter compression is off. EQ is off. Everything is off. And I just want to point out that this can do what the Zoom can do, okay, right? So I mean, I could put in the limiter compression, noise gate, low cut. I could do these things to get the same sort of, well, I could just set auto gain here. So set auto gain here, it'd basically be just like very similar to the Zoom. So with this, you can get everything that can do, but as I hope to prove, using the Zoom 3, you can't do everything this can do. So yeah, I'm gonna, well, first I'm going to, now in the Zoom, you can change the levels. It just shows you the waveform. It doesn't actually change the file inside. And the gain, you don't see any effect. So I tested that. And that works. And by the way, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you're just podcasting or making like a YouTube video, the Zoom is fine. In a sense, it's an idiot-proof device for people with XLR mics. There's no way to put all the mics in there. So yeah, if you want like what looks like a really professional, advanced, cool-looking XLR mic, set it and forget it recorder, this is your baby. Okay, so anyway. We don't have to worry about the Zoom. That's how it's made. But on the TASCAM, I'm going to need to set my levels for my voice. So I'm just speaking in a normal way, and actually I'm getting a pretty good signal because these are pretty hot mics. So I'm actually going to put these back much further. I'd say they're around 5 to 6 feet away. So if I'm talking here, if I bring the gain down to basically 0 dB. I'm just barely seeing, they're going to around, my voice is going to around negative 34 dB. So if I push it up to plus 33 dB, or 40 dB. 40 dB is like at 15 or 13 dB. And I think for this test, yeah, I'm going to try and keep it sort of that, bring the voice up to 10 dB because I know I'm not going to shout. Normally you do 20 dB because a person might raise their voice, but I know I'm not going to raise my voice. So I'm really trying to maximize that signal. So I'm up to 40 dB. So on this, I'm going to record at 50 dB, and this will record what it will record. So let's go. Okay, so I'm recording both at the same time, and I'm speaking in a very low voice. Both mics are pointing at me. I can see a nice waveform in my Zoom F3. Now I'm going to pause so we can analyze the noise in our audio editor. Okay, I'm at my desk upstairs, and I have Audacity opened. Now I am like a complete noob when it comes to audio software. I mean, I've learned advanced things to do with it, but I forget it very quickly. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. And, you know, maybe I made mistakes downstairs, here, whatever. But this is what we're going to do, right? So I'm going to open it, and I'm just going to play dumb. And, well, not dumb, but, you know, it was like, okay, you know, I had to go somewhere. I had to record a voice, a whisper voice. I recorded on two devices, the TASCAM and the Zoom. And which one would give me better quality to send to my client of this person speaking in a whisper. Okay, so I'm recording both at the same time, and I'm speaking in a very low voice. Both mics are pointing at me. I can see a nice waveform in my Zoom F3. Now I'm going to pause so we can analyze the noise in our audio editor. Okay, so I'm recording both at the same time, and I'm speaking in a very low voice. Both mics are pointing at me. I can see a nice waveform in my Zoom F3. Now I'm going to pause so we can analyze the noise in our audio editor. So now I have the gain at maximum 57, and I'm whispering. Pi is 3.14, E is 2.71. And can you hear the water gurgling in the radiators? So at a very small, okay, pi, I'm trying not to do the whisper thing. Pi is 3.14, E is 2.71. Pi is 3.14, E is 2.71. Could you hear those numbers? So now I have the gain at maximum 57, and I'm whispering. Pi is 3.14, E is 2.71. And can you hear the water gurgling in the radiators? So at a very small, okay, pi, I'm trying not to do the whisper thing. Pi is 3.14, E is 2.71. Pi is 3.14, E is 2.71. Could you hear those numbers? Can you hear what I'm saying? The number pi is 314. Number E is 2.71. Can you hear what I'm saying? The number pi is 314. Number E is 2.71. Can you hear what I'm saying? The number pi is 314. Number E is 2.71. Can you hear what I'm saying? The number pi is 314. Number E is 2.71.